Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to revisit one of my first videos that I posted on YouTube. Now the particular video I want to go back and look at was Vintage Handheld CB Overview and Power Test. And what I'm going to focus on is the power test, which I realize now I did an error. Now, this was a recent comment I had on my handheld testing, and it was from 91C4NVA. And he wrote, I think your meter is off for whatever the reason, or these radios have been fooled with. Isn't CB limited to and was never made more than 5 watts? And that comment got me thinking, and I went back and checked my original test results. And looking at these test results, I can see that, I know these radios weren't fooled with, and I know these power readings are way off. And if I remember back when I tested on channel 1. And as you can see, the Uniden Pro 510XL had a power reading of 5 watts. The GE 5920 had 8 watts. The 5979C tested at 7.2 watts. The GE 5980 tested at 6, and then my Cobra HH35s each tested at 8 watts, which I know is wrong. They should be nowhere near that. In fact, most CB radios, they will set under 4 watts as not to violate and get fined by the FCC. Now here are the original radios we did the power test on, minus the GE 5979C, which I no longer have. We have the Uniden Pro 510XL, which is not a handheld, but it was the first mobile radio that I had bought. Now to the handhelds, we have the Cobra HH35, the GE 5920 emergency radio, and the GE 5980. Now here is where I believe my problem lies in my testing. It was the Trucker Series RPSWR-2, which was my first SWR meter that I bought. And while I discovered later that the power readings are way off on this, fortunately it measures SWR correctly. Now the Trucker Series SWR meter I bought on eBay used. So that's probably part of the problem right there. I don't know the history of it. So I went a couple months ago, probably 2 or 3 months ago, and bought this a static PDC1 SWR power meter. And the SWR between this one and the Truckers are spot on. They match each other. But the power reading on this one is more realistic to me. I know you should hook it up to a dummy load and have a power meter that's just dedicated to test that, but I don't. So I think this is probably pretty approximate. From what I read, they can be off 10% either direction, but I do feel I had more accurate readings with this meter. All right, the first one we're going to test is the Uniden Pro 510XL, and I have adjusted, we can show you here, I've adjusted my SWR. We're using my dipole, and you can see it's practically not moving at all. It's right at about 1.0. And let's go ahead and put the power on it. When we originally tested this, we had a power of 5. So let's go ahead and see what we have now. Oh, let's put it on 10 watt. And now you can see it's probably about 2.3. All right, the next radio we're going to test is the GE 5980. I was told by another viewer that I should take the antenna off when I test them because even though I'm plugged into the external antenna on these CBs, they're still using their antenna. So I went ahead and disconnected that. And like I said, we have it on channel 1 to pretty much follow our original test. And let's go ahead and power it up. And this one reads around 2 watts. And originally, when I tested the 5980, I had 6 watts. So we're getting a change of about 4 watts. All right, now we have the GE 5920 help radio. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Originally, we had a reading of 8. This one actually read right along with the Cobra HH35. So let's go ahead and key it up. And this one we're getting about 2.2. And then the last radio we have here is the Cobra HH35. And our original test showed 8 watts. And let's go ahead and key it. And this one shows about 2.2, which is the same as the GE 5920 help radio. So there you have it. There's our test of our 4 CB radios, 3 of them which are handhelds. And I feel that those power readings are probably pretty realistic. And like I said, from what I've read, I'm probably within 10%. And the highest reading I had was about 2.2 watts. So if anyone's done any test on any of these with a dedicated power meter, I'd like to see what kind of results you had. But like I said, I'm just kind of an amateur at this, sharing my journey as I explore the 11 meter band. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.